Hi there, welcome back to the YouTube channel. I'm back again, and this is the third alternate commander from the commander decks I'm looking at. A couple of people have sent me messages asking me about the Eldrazi ones, and I'll have a think about the Eldrazi ones. I've never been a great fan of Eldrazi, but if people want to see it, let me know in the comments down below. The more people who say yes, they want to see what I can do with the Eldrazi, if you let me know, I'll do it next week. But I'm going to finish this week off with Coram, the Undertaker. 1 black, red and green for a 0/5 human warrior, and it gets plus X. Coram gets plus X plus X plus 0, where X is the greatest power amongst creature cards in all graveyards. So if anyone is playing Eldrazi and they've got Eldrazi in their graveyard, Coram gets a nice bump from that. And whenever Coram attacks, each player mills a card. So that's you, that's all your opponents. And then during each of your turns, you may play a land or cast a spell from among the cards in graveyards that are put there from libraries this turn. So basically, you get your card draw. That's fine, play that, whatever it is. And then when you attack with Coram, you get to look at the top card of each player's library for all intents and purposes, including your own. They go to the graveyard, and if you like them, you can play a land and cast a spell from among them. Fantastic, great. A little bit of mill on everybody, and hopefully pump you up. The only thing that goes wrong is they hit one of the old school Eldrazi that shuffle everything back in. But yeah, we can cope with that. Just means we've got more chances to hit it again later on. So yeah, Coram's fun, and this is how I've built Coram for today's video. Right, let's start at the beginning. We have 26 creatures in the deck. What I've tried to do is do a little bit of self-mill, a little bit of their mill, and build it up that way. So when Coram attacks, we get a nice pump on the, instead of the 0, we get at least like 3 minimum with a bit of luck. But hopefully it'll be more than that. So, Birds of Paradise gives a bit of ramp. Stitches Supplier, so we can start milling our own stuff into the graveyard, ready for Coram to get back for us. Bloom Tenderer is also here, gives us a nice mana ramp. Once we get Coram in play, it taps for 3. That's fine. Bramble Familiar, can play it for 2 mana for a ramp spell, or we can do the fetch quest and mill 7 and put them into the put a creature, enchantment or land card from among the milled cards onto the battlefield if we need to. And obviously we can use it as a discard outlet as well, as we need to later in the game to make Coram big to get through, maybe with that final damage. Dockside, yeah, it's a red deck, sorry, Dockside's here. Skull Prophet, double duty in this deck. Taps for mana, that helps us to get Coram out quicker, and then can start milling some of our cards if we need to make sure Coram's got decent power to attack with. Sylvan Carotid gives a bit of, well, very difficult to remove mana ramp, let's put it that way, shall we, with the hexproof. Gloomshrieker gives away returning a target card from our graveyard to our hand, and obviously when Gloomshrieker dies we do exile it, but yeah, a little bit of later on card return to hand is useful. Gorging Vulture comes in, mill the top 4 cards of our library, and then we gain a life for each creature card put into our graveyard this way. There's reasons we need a bit of life gain in this deck, and I'll get to them shortly. Nyx Weaver is also here, just the continuing milling at each beginning of our upkeep, and then we can exile Nyx Weaver and return target card from our graveyard to our hand for 3 mana, so we don't lose everything. Slimefoot and Squeaks here, we might as well have Slimefoot here, just so we can return, hopefully get some saplings on the go with it. But it's a 3/3 at the end of the day, and if we keep the sapling around to return Slimefoot, all good to us from my point of view. Bristlebud Farmer is also in. It's about we get some food tokens, useful, but then if we attack, you may sacrifice a food. If you do, we mill 3 cards, and we may put a permanent card from among them into our hand. Another little bit self-mill, but 5/5 for 4 mana with trample's pretty damn good anyway. Prosper, I figured we might as well have a bit of Prosper. I haven't played Prosper for a while in the deck, so Prosper came in, just helps with the treasure tokens and the exiling. Soul of Windgrace is a discard outlet at the end of the day, but it also means that we can bring back our land cards that may have been inadvertently milled into the graveyard when we come into when Soul of Windgrace enters the battlefield or attacks. So yep, we're milling things. So Conrad the Grim is just a no-brainer. Sorry. Windgrace Acolyte enters the battlefield, put the top 3 cards of our library into graveyard, gain 3 life. Another little bit of life gain we need. Blight Titan just enters the battlefield with attacks. We mill 2, then incubate X. Happy with that plan. That's great. And Bladewind Deathless Tyrant's also here, but notice these are all the big creatures now. We're not going to be probably casting most of these that often. I should have said that before I start talking about Blight Titan. Because we want these in our graveyard to pump up Coram to start with from our point of view, but if we need to play them we can do. Greater Sandworms here because it cycles, so it's an easy way to get Coram up to 7 once we get it in our hand. Sheldred is probably the exception. We will probably play Sheldred if we can, basically so we can return stuff and get everyone to sack things. So yeah. Ghoultree is here just to be discarded, but gives Coram 10 power when we get there. Singing in the Darkness, cycle early or late game is useful, but I'll probably cycle it early. Phyrexian Triniform, get us to graveyard is great, gives Coram 9/9, and then we can encore it for 12 if we need to at some stage and get all the golem tokens. But if we have to play it in the short term, we play in the short term. Titanoth Rex is definitely a cycle thing. I don't think we're going to get to 9 mana to play this dinosaur beast. Lovely if we can, but we've got other sneaky ways we can get him into play. So cycling it early is probably not the worst plan in the world, especially if we can put a trample counter on Coram just to do that side of it as well. Triplicate Titan, again, another one we'll probably try and get in our graveyard, but if we play it, we play it, and then obviously if it dies, we get all the nice golems, fine. And finally, Rumbleweed. This comes in from the from the Junction Commander set. Can be played. We will be milling lands, so we might be able to get this down from 11. Vigilance, Reach and Trample's pretty good, and when it enters the battlefield, other creatures we control get +3/+3 and trample to the end of turn. So maybe, but if we have to get it into a graveyard to give Coram a boost, so be it. We have a lot of spells that do a lot of milling and a lot of discarding. We do have some control stuff as well, but Burning Inquiry, everyone draws 3 then discards 3. Smuggler's Surprise, it's in from Outlaws of Thunder Junction. We can do the whole 6 mana, put 2 up target creature cards from our hand onto the battlefield, or we can mill things and return things. So yeah, at the end of the day, whatever ones we need to do from Spree is all good. Karthik Reunion is a bit of card draw with discard. Nature's Law, Rampant Growth, here for the ramp along with 3 visits. Roots of Wisdom is also kind of ramp spell, but also stacks our graveyard and replaces itself. So yeah, I can cope with that plan. Tormenting Voice for the card draw and discard. Adahim's Awakening, extra land, but the 3 black and X means we can return all our creature cards if we need to. We've got a stupid amount of mana in play, so bear that in mind. But if you need it early, you can play it as a land, it's fine. More ramp research for tomorrow. Wasteful Harvest, mill 5 per permanent cards, per permanent from the milled cards into our hand. Yeah, okay. It's 3 mana instant. Could help with Coram. Yep. Big Score for the card draw, treasures and discard outlet. Same for the Unexpected Windfall. Venture Forth, another way of getting lands into play. I just like this card in green, I really do. The suspend for green and 1 and then wait a few turns and get random land is always fun. Vigor Mortis gives us a way of returning a creature card from our graveyard, and it gets bigger if you spend green mana to do this with. Riveter's Confluence comes in from Nuke, whatever it was, can't remember now. You all know the set name. Brain's gone dead. Deals 1 damage to each creature in Planeswalker you don't control. You can put a land card from your hand or graveyard onto battlefield tap, so you get some of our lands back. Or if we're in a pinch, we can draw 3 and lose 3 life. But we can do a combination of all of them, it's all great. Summon Undead, we mill 3 cards and return a creature card from our graveyard to the battlefield. Another way to get stuff back that's been milled. Breach the Multiverse. Yeah, I think everyone's seen this card now in Commander. Not going to go through it. Very nice in this deck though. Finder Finalities, a nice strange one. Return up to 2 creature cards from your graveyard to your hand for, blue, black, green, black, green, black. Or then the finality, make one of your creatures very big, then give all the other creatures on the board -4/-4. Yeah. Nice if you can put the +1/+1 counters on Coram, becomes a 2/7. Definitely survives the -4/-4, then gets in for the attack. And then still has the all the creatures that just gone to the graveyard to choose from to pump his power. Great. Blasphemous Act for overall board control. And then we are doing a lot of milling. Rise of the Dark Realm seemed a bit of a no-brainer to me for this deck, so it's here. Artifact wise, fair amount of ramp today. Mox Tantalite, Soul Talisman, Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, and one of each of the talismans are here. Ghoul Caller's Bell is also in to make sure people can start milling things. Might as well mill everyone. Same with Dredging Claw, but it has the ability to give Coram Menace, which game makes him harder to block. So plus the +1/+0 does kind of give him a little bit of a bump. And then Whisper Silk Cloak, so we can get through a Coram and make sure we get that commander damage in, because obviously I know a lot of play groups in paper don't play with commander damage that much, but MTGO still tracks it, so it is still a valid win condition on MTGO, hence why the cloak's here. The Shroud also helps stops Coram being removed, so not going to complain. Few enchantments, not too many today. Tiny Bones joins up. When it enters the battlefield, a number of target players each discard a card, and then whenever a legendary creature enters the battlefield under your control, any number of target players each mill a card and lose a life. If Coram's played a few times from the command zone, this kind of helps out a bit. It's here. Anyway, Criminal Past comes in as one of the background. This creature gets +X/+0, where X is the number of creature cards in your graveyard, so it makes Coram big before we even start doing the attacking bit. Yeah. Goblin War Drums gives all our creatures menace, so it makes it very hard to block Coram. Deadbridge Chant, I think this is in the actual commander deck that Coram's in as well, but enter the battlefield, put the top 10 cards of your library in the graveyard. At the beginning of your upkeep, choose a card at random in your graveyard. If it's a creature card, put it onto the battlefield, otherwise it goes in your hand. It's a good enchantment, doesn't see much play, but it's a good enchantment. The other two I've put in, Virtue of Persistence, just so we can go in for the -3/-3 life gain and return a creature card, and the Virtue of Strength. Now, I'm going to be honest, there's not that many basic lands in here. When I did the deck, I forgot I need to put basic lands in here. You may need to change the mana base. I'm not going to talk about it to put more basics in, but at the end of the day, the Virtue of Strength will return something from our graveyard to our creature or land, from our graveyard to our hand for 1 green mana, so it's not the end of the world if we don't get the extra mana off the Virtue. My bad. As you can see, 3 forests, 3 mountains, 3 swamps. You may want to change those number of rounds if you're going to rely on the Virtue a bit more. But beyond that, it's the usual selection of black, green and red lands. A couple of things I will point out. Access tunnels here, because we do this before combat, make Coram unblockable because his power is 0. It's only when he attacks does he get bigger, so yeah, he will be unblockable for that turn. We've also got the original one, if I can find it, there you go, Rogue's Passage is here as well, and we have the new sack land, which I can't remember the name of, which I know is in here somewhere. We just go through all the lands really quick. There you go, Escape Tunnel, that's the one. Target creature with power 2 or less can't be blocked this turn. Again, another one you can do in your main phase before you go to your attack steps, make sure Coram's unblockable. And that's it. That's my take on Coram. Like I say, if you want me to do the Eldrazi one, let me know down below. I don't know, I'll see. But if people ask for it, I will do it. I don't know what you can do with Eldrazi apart from say they're Eldrazi, but you know, if you want me to have a look at it, I will do down below. Just let me know in the comments. Coram's fun. Coram just is an interesting way if you like playing around with your graveyard, so this one might as well be the one we concentrate on a little bit. I have some plans for next week. There'll be a poll going up tomorrow. Please ensure you vote on the poll so I know what I'm recording next weekend for decks. But for now, thanks for watching all the deck techs this week. Hopefully you've hit the subscribe button down below. 435 as I recorded this. Yes. 65 off my target of 500 for the year, so if you can help out and get there, really appreciate it. But for now, take care. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.